We are back with another ranking video. Let's get into it. You guys absolutely blew up the other ranking video that I did. So that one was on our uncontracted players and where they sit. Do we need to trade them, delist them, etc., etc., etc. And you guys just blew that up, and it was absolutely incredible. It was doing numbers, and I'm stoked that you guys enjoyed that video. So I thought, let's do another ranking video, but this one, instead of sort of ranking, if we're going to get these sort of players or not, I'm going to rank them by if we need them or not. You can see it in the title. It's right. It's trade rumors by necessity. So I've got I've got 9 names there. I've taken some out. So I was going to do this earlier in the week. I didn't get around to it. I've taken some out because some have, Sam Berry re-signed. Lukosius we're not going for. So we've got a couple of new guys in there. Let's get into it. So the first guy we're going to start with is Alex Davies from the Gold Coast Suns, 192 centimeters, inside mid. He's just been put onto our radar, out of contract, not out of favour, but he is behind in the pecking order. He had a stint of 7 games this season where he averaged 7 tackles, and I think about 16 disposals or not. So if you're looking at just his stats, he's not a big accumulator, but he is a big-bodied mid, 192 centimeters, which is only a couple centimeters short of Patrick Cripps, a little bit taller than Scott Pendlebury. So he's a big midfielder and an inside mid. So you'll see that these next couple of names we've got coming out, there are a couple of inside mids in these trade rumors because, people will say, what about a key forward? What about a key forward? Our midfield needs depth. We very much lacked depth this year. That's why we were playing all these kids that haven't played a game before. And that was amazing, right? But we need these guys with senior AFL experience. And I think Alex Davies is a good player. I think he's not one of those guys that would be, like, it's hard because we need him, but he will also be handy to have. So when I put these guys in handy, it's not that I don't want them. It's just that if we can get them for a good price, I think he'd be really good to have. So I'm going to leave Alex Davies there in handy. Maybe he comes out with the John Noble trade. Maybe there's something we can work out there now that we're not going for Lukosius. But I would like Alex Davies in the club. So I'm going to put him as handy. The next guy we've got here is Ben Hobbs. So Ben Hobbs, 20 years old. So we're starting to put our age profile down a lot because we know we're the oldest team in the league, especially going into next year. We've got whatever it is, 9 or so players over the age of 30. Ben Hobbs, 20 years old, was a former pick 13, 183 centimeters, and another inside mid. So you can see that we're sort of going for players who are going to, we're going to start building around Nick Dacos. So there was a period in time where we were building around Steele and Dane Swan and Scott Pendlebury. And now we've got this star, this absolute bona fide star of the game, a god tier player who we have to start building around. And you can't build around with 30-year-olds, so you're going to have to start getting players that are lower in age who are really going to sort of step up. Ben Hobbs could be that guy. He is contracted until the end of 2025, and we know that Essendon are notoriously bad to deal with. And I kind of like Ben Hobbs. I haven't seen a lot of him. Saw a bunch of his highlights before this video. Seen him in a couple of games. He came on as a sub on Anzac Day. And I like the way he goes about it. Hard-headed. Kind of reminds me of a little bit like Taylor Adams when he was younger. That sort of inside mid that we definitely need. Tom Mitchell's not getting any younger. Finn McRae isn't going to do anything as that inside mid, unfortunately. So I like Ben Hobbs. I'm going to put him in handy as well. Again, handy only because we need to get him at a good price, especially that he's contracted until 2025, especially that we don't have any picks. So I'm going to put Ben Hobbs there as handy. So the next guy here is Adam Tomlinson. So he was just a little bit of speculation regarding him. He probably goes to St Kilda. They're saying he's an unrestricted free agent. He is 31, but if we're going to sort of charge for this premiership now, or another premiership now, and we want to sort of build straight away, just put someone in as a stopgap, Tomlinson could be that guy. Big player. Down back in as a defender, probably a little bit better than Billy Frampton, I would say. But I think that just that age profile, getting another 31-year-old in, it just I just don't want to do it. Like, I know he could come really cheap as an unrestricted free agent. Is he going to be better than like a Mark Keane or a Charlie Dean? Does it hamper does it hamper Charlie Dean's uh, learning ability if we've got this 31-year-old come through? Tomlinson would want to play pretty much every single game. Does it help Darcy Moore out? Yeah, it helps Darcy Moore out. But I want to put Tomlinson in the don't want category just because I think he's going to St Kilda anyway. Because St Kilda are losing all their players, Josh Battle and stuff like that. So, nah, not even handy. Like, I just don't want him, and I've put Tomlinson there as don't want. All right, now the next guy is Tom Lynch. So Tom Lynch has been rumoured for quite a while. We talked about him in a video previously. We've been crying out for a key forward. I don't think Tom Lynch is that guy. He's played 4 games in 2 years. He's got a heavily back in the $1.5 million contract. And can we trust his body to come up? He's 30, 31, 32. I just, like, he would be handy to have, but I'm trusting my check, Dan McStay a little bit more. Kruger, if we give him another year, I'm sort of trusting those guys more than I'm trusting Tom Lynch. So I'm going to put Tom Lynch in the don't want category. Now, this guy, Christian Petracca. Like, I don't even have to talk about it. God tier, right? God tier category. Do we need... The thing is with Petracca is, do we need him? I don't think any... Oh, no, that was going to be a lie. Lots of clubs need him. I think we would love to have him. If we have a fit Jordan De Goey, if we have a fit bunch of players, he would still slide in pretty well. When I say we don't need him, it's only because, we'd have to really sell the farm to get him. And like I said in my other video, are you really selling the farm just to get some honey glazed carrots? But if we could somehow manufacture getting him, 1,000% I would have him, in the middle with Pendlebury, with Nick Dacos, with Josh Dacos. You probably have to give away a Jordan De Goey or an Isaac Quaynor or someone like that to get him. But if we could get him and keep other players, it's not going to happen. But if we could, he is God tier. I would absolutely love him. He's a little bit older than the probably age profile that we're sort of starting to go with now. Well, not sort of starting to go with now. Looking forward into the future. But he's 28, 29. He's still got 3 or 4 years left. The only big question mark is he going to be the same player that he was before that car crash injury that he pretty much had on the footy field? Rory Lobb. Rory Lobb, for most of the year, said he was going. The Western Bulldogs chucked him down the back, and he has flourished as a backman. I kind of like what Rory Lobb. Oh my god, I kind of like what Rory Lobb has done at the moment. Wasn't doing anything in the forward line. He reinvented himself in the back line, and he's done really, really well. I think forwards make really good backmen. And I know Rory Lobb is 31. I understand that. And I know I've put Tomlinson and Lynch down there. But I think if you could get Rory Lobb really cheap, I think he would be pretty handy. Only because Mason Cox isn't getting any younger. Rory Lobb can jump into the ruck if we need to. And he would be a good foil for Darcy Moore down back. I think that would work really well in tandem. So if you can get him for pretty cheap, I would definitely be looking at him. And I know he's older, but I'd definitely be looking at him. Now, James Peatling from the GWS Giants, we've been linked to him, 186 centimetres, 24 years old, fits that profile of building a midfield around Nick Dacos. I really like James. He's had a really good year. He's had some match-saving marks, had a really good stint. The thing with James Peatling is he's behind a lot of the Giants players, which is fair enough. They've got a star-studded midfield, so he's going to be behind a lot of these players. I do really like him though. So look at this. His best game against Melbourne, he had 11 tackles, 28 disposals, 18 contested possessions. And I just like his vibe. I like his vibe. There's not much else to say. I like his vibe. As that midfield, he's not that inside mid like your Alex Davies would be or your Ben Hobbs. But I think if you could get him, it would be a very interesting signing. I'm hearing rumours that West Coast have offered him 4 years and a lot of midfield time. Could we offer him a lot of midfield time with this aging crew that we have. Look, I'm going to put him as handy, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to trade one of these guys from handy up into need. So I think Ben Hobbs is a need. And I only say that now because I put Peatling into handy. I think Ben Hobbs is a need. 20 years old, young, inside mid, Taylor Adams. We're going to put him into need. I think we do need someone like that, especially if Finn McRae leaves, especially if Riff McInnes leaves. I think we need someone like that. Now, this guy we haven't talked about. Oh, actually, we made a video about him months and months and months ago. It's not going to happen. We're still linked to him, quote unquote. God tier. We know Bailey Smith is going to Geelong. He's apparently brought a house up there or something like that. We know Bailey Smith is going to Geelong. But, if you could get him, he'd walk into 17 other clubs. He is ridiculously good. I know he's coming off that ACL. Not only a good footballer, a great footballer, very good for the brand. It's about time we sort of bring in a huge name into the Pies via a trade. It will never happen because we don't have the draft capital. We don't have anything that the Western Bulldogs will want. But if you could manufacture it somehow, 1,000%. And he's good friends with the boys, with the Dacos brothers. They do that Barry drink together. It would be very nice. Not going to happen, but would be God tier if you could get him in. Now, the last guy here, I'm going to put him straight into the category I think need. Mark Keane, former Collingwood player. He goes over back to Ireland, back home, plays a couple of years of Gaelic, comes back to Adelaide, has done really well in the Adelaide backline. I loved Mark Keane when he was at the Pies. I thought he was going to be, that next Darcy Moore, take the next step. Just didn't really get going. He's had a fantastic year at Adelaide. Reportedly unhappy there, wants to come back home to Collingwood. He's got a year left on his contract. You could manufacture something to get him over, but I think he is a need that we need in that back line. I think he would fit our profile really well. And that's why I don't want that Adam Tomlinson, because if you can get a Mark Keane who is younger, who is more agile, who can play a little bit more, can play better, you're going for the Mark Keane over the Tomlinson, who's just a sort of unrestricted, cheap free agent where you're just getting them in because you can, aka, sort of like the Quinn and Lynch sort of thing. But I would say that Mark Keane would be numero uno on our priorities right now. And then you fall into like getting an inside mid to protect Nick if Tom Mitchell, doesn't come up again. Because that's my biggest concern. We need these mids, and people say, "Oh, mids, we're always getting mids." Our mids are old as hell. We need that depth, and we need some of these players. I would even take Hobbs. If we took Hobbs, Davies, Keane, or Keane, Davies, Keane, Hobbs, and Peatling, I think that's a good trade period. If you can get Petracca and those players, insane trade period. But I think three of those players would be very, very, very handy. And look, there's no key forwards on the market. It's not going to happen. Look, guys, that's just been my ranking out of necessity, the trade rumors. Let me know your thoughts down below. Would you change any of them up? Were there other players that I missed out on? I'm pretty sure these were all the rumors that I've heard so far. Obviously, I've taken some out. Do you like my rankings? Would you change any of them? Let me know your thoughts down below. But until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets. And until next time, double shackers. I'll swoop you later.